There is an apparent active serial killer in Portland, Oregon. The footage that you're about to see comes courtesy of our friend and fellow independent journalist Kevin Dahlgren of Truth on the Streets. Kevin is a tireless advocate for the homeless, for the addicted, and for those desperate for change in Portland, Oregon. Kevin interviews people who live on the streets on an almost daily basis. Check out his Twitter at Kevin V. Dahlgren. The link is in the description of this video. And check out his website, truthonthestreets.org. The link for that is also in the description of this video. In the first clip, Kevin interviews a homeless woman who tells a story about being kidnapped and raped in an ordeal that took over 4 days by a man who she believes is an active serial killer. She miraculously escaped and was able to tell her story, but this man is not a stranger to the homeless in Portland. They have a nickname for him. They call him the Viper.
Because he had a sword to my throat and he had me face down on the floor and he was ready to start sawing. And I freaked out and I just said, listen to me, please listen. And so then I think he was scared of what I would do when I left, if I would call the police or bring somebody back. He wanted to see that I was okay with what he did, you know? So I just played it off. I just acted like I was hungry. I cooked something to eat and ate with them. I wanted to get back to normal as much as I could, you know?
And he held you against your will for 4 days.
4 days.
And you actually, you made it out of there.
You know, finally, I was so dope sick that I was sweating sick. I started throwing up. I said, listen, I don't care what happened here. Nobody cares what happened here. Nobody gives a fuck what happens to me. Nothing will happen to you because nobody cares. I said, I just want to go get my drugs or do what you're going to do, but I can't do this. He goes, okay, I'll take you back. I almost started laughing when he said that. I think I almost kissed the ground when I walked out. During that time, he had curtains up on his walls, and I thought, and he left the room, and I took his VCR, and I threw it through what I thought was a window, but it was curtains against a wall. He didn't have windows. And, you know, he came running back out, and I thought, oh, fuck, I'm gonna die now, you know what I mean? He hit the wall. He's really tall. He's kind of heavy set, especially on the top. It's kind of awkward. He's big here and smaller through the hips and stuff. It's an odd build. And he dresses, a lot of times he dresses like he's a trans, but he's not. I know he's not. He does that just to disguise himself and throw people off, you know what I mean?
Kevin believes that he has interviewed up to 8 women at this point who all have similar experiences and describe their encounters with this serial rapist, serial killer, the Viper. Some believe that they think this serial killer might be transgender because he dresses like a woman, though most say that they believe he just is a cross-dresser, and whether or not there's a sexual component to the cross-dressing aspect, most people think that he dresses like a woman as a form of disguise to avoid detection and recognition. She describes him as tall, awkward, and heavy set in his upper body, but smaller in his lower body. Kevin has heard descriptions like this before. He has repeatedly heard tales of a serial killer dressed like a woman, though he reports that the homeless are unclear if this is an individual or multiple perpetrators with similar descriptions. Either way, the homeless have come up with several names for the threat or threats that they face. The 3 names that they have given are the Viper, as previously mentioned, Walking Death, and Big Ben. Kevin has been reporting on stories related to this for well over a year. In another interview, this one from 2023, a homeless woman named Ida gives a detailed description. This description matches many other descriptions that have been given to Kevin. From Ida, Kevin learned that her brother, a recovering addict named K9, whom Kevin had befriended and who was known as the mayor of a homeless encampment inside of a steel bridge, had been killed by this person.
Well, supposedly a transgender or a person pretending to be one, lured himself into his tent, pretending to be a female, and gave him a hot shot. Him didn't think anything about it. This person is still walking among the streets. God knows who else this person's done it to. Like I said, I can't say that he is transgender or acted, but it seems like my cousin was set up.
Well,
and nobody knew why.
All I know is that I knew your cousin very well, K9, and he's actually been working on staying clean too, which means he was given a hot shot. I think he was killed.
No, because the whole time he was with me and everybody tried to get him a ticket, he wouldn't do it.
Well, and I was just back there a couple weeks ago with my friend Tyler Oliveira, and we were looking for K9, and they basically ran us off, said K9's not here anymore.
And this guy was really trying to get him to go with him, but I got in the way.
And can you describe him?
Yeah. He had nail polish on his hand, glow-in-the-dark green nail polish, like a kid did it. He had 2 different earrings in his ear. He's kind of weirdo, man. He had a long jacket on, like weird. He was just tight, skinny jeans. His hair was like long on the side.
Well, and you're describing what another female described to me a few months ago who this person is.
He scared me a little bit.
Yep.
He even was like, he said, "I'll tie your shoes for you." I'm like, I can tie my own shoes. He creeped me out a little bit. So when I saw something in my brain, like my mom's training, and when you feel that way, I started talking to the young man and bringing him towards me and kind of ignored him. And the guy didn't like that. He kind of strayed off. And when we seen him, he laid down with the person that was already laid down to sleep, a homeless guy, and started talking to him. Jesus. I guess that didn't work. And then when we looked up again, he was gone. And that's when I set that boy down. I said, I know you. I know I'm 33, but I know that you're young. Let me tell you something. I just saved your life. And my life too. I said, that guy that you with? I said, did he give you something to smoke? And he felt kind of weird. He said, yeah.
Well, if you
he was trying to lure you, man.
If you see him again or her,
I wanted to take a picture, but I couldn't see him no more.
Him or her, take a photo and send it to the police.
For those who don't know, a hot shot is an intentionally laced recreational drug that is meant to kill by overdose. The homeless rarely report crimes as a consequence of their complicated relationship with authorities and out of fear of retaliation. Many have disappeared or died under questionable circumstances, just like K9. This next woman was saved by her dogs after telling Kevin that her dog took a chunk out of her would-be killer's face. She said that she woke up to a man standing over her with his hand around her throat. She describes him as a black man in his mid-30s who is tall and skinny. This description matches other descriptions that Kevin has heard from homeless people who have encountered the Viper. Kevin reports that this is the most common description he hears: a tall, skinny black man with painted nails, sometimes dressed as a woman.
Is it dangerous to be homeless out here?
Yes, it is.
Can you give me some examples?
I was living on the other side on King when me and him split up for a while. And I was by myself with my dogs, and I woke up to a black guy in my tent. I had him by my throat, and my dogs had him by his face and his neck. When I had to shove him out of my tent, and he told me he'd be back later.
What was his intent?
I don't know. But people were telling me they think it's the guy that was killing the girls in Portland.
Oh, the Viper. There's a serial rapist.
Black guy, yeah.
Black guy.
Skinny.
In Portland, yep.
And that's the guy. I described him, and the girls said that they thought that was him.
Well, that's interesting.
My dog, I have a big pit bull.
Yeah, right below me here.
I have my leg wrapped around her.
It's funny because can you just describe him to me? Because it sounds like it's the same person.
He was mid-30s, about 6 foot.
Yeah.
6.
So yes, this guy's been described as tall by 4 different women I've interviewed.
And he's really skinny.
Okay.
Really skinny.
So maybe that's why we haven't heard of him in Portland. He's now in Vancouver.
Yeah, this was when Jacqueline would know if you asked her the date.
Yeah.
When I moved over to King, it was the first night I was there.
Well, yeah, they've been calling him the Viper for about a year, and obviously he's not been caught. I'm wondering if it's the same guy. That's actually just absolutely terrifying. Another big reason for you to be in housing right freaking now.
Yeah, and him being home, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Because I didn't sleep well after that.
That's scared.
I mean, thank God for my dogs. I mean, the dude's now got a big scar on his face and on his neck because they took chunks.
Well, I mean, he'll be easier to identify.
Yeah, they took chunks. I guarantee she took chunks. She wasn't let go. I had to grab her. When he was going to run, I had to grab my dog and pull her off of him.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well,
she was.
Despite what you have seen and heard or read on murderpm.com, the link for the article is in the description of this video, authorities seem kind of uninterested in searching for walking death. The only suspect that they have arrested is a man named Jesse Calhoun, who does not meet the description of walking death. The police have identified Jesse Calhoun as a person of interest in the deaths of 4 women. He was arrested on murder charges yesterday, June 5th. Police say that the deaths of Bridget Webster, Charity Perry, Ashley Reel, and Kristen Smith are connected, and they believe that Calhoun is their primary suspect. This story has received very little media attention, aside from the coverage of Jesse Calhoun, which in and of itself has been very scant. Not many people are talking about this, so share this video. Follow Kevin, share what he posts, share the Murder PM article, get the word out there. There could be an active serial killer. Maybe Calhoun is responsible for the deaths of these 4 women, and in regards to K9 and a number of other victims, the ones who escaped as well, there could be an active serial killer out there in Portland. Share this video, spread the word, let's get people talking about this so that we can find and identify this person. This is really horrifying, and I think that people don't care enough about the homeless because they're considered a nuisance or whatnot, and I understand people have to go about their days, we all have to make a living and make sacrifices and, just live our lives. And a lot of times, we don't have extra resources to give to people or whatnot, but what you can do is you can share these stories and you can try and push to get people to talk about this. I truly believe that we need to identify walking death. That name is horrifying. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Victoria Evans. Be safe out there.